In lesson 3, we're going to talk about a terminating decimal and a repeating decimal. On your key idea, it says you can use division to convert a fraction to a decimal. So we have our fractions. We know that we take our top number, which is our numerator, and divide it by our denominator, which is our bottom number. So if you take 2 divided by 5, you get 0.4. If you take 3 divided by 8, you get 0.375. If you take 2 divided by 3, you get 0.6666, and so on. When you use division to convert a fraction to a decimal, the decimal will either terminate or repeat. So those are 2 vocabulary words, terminate or repeat. A terminating decimal is one that ends. So 0.375 or 0.429518. It may take several digits to write, but the digits do not go on forever. So it's a decimal that, we're just going to say, like they said, ends. A repeating decimal uses digits that go on forever, but the digits form a repeating pattern. So in your calculator, you'll see all these numbers come up. So 0.6666, and they use the ... to show that it goes on. Or 0.727272 ... That means it goes on forever. So a repeating decimal simply repeats. So on the try this, they want you to convert each fraction to a decimal, and then does the decimal terminate or repeat? And we're going to circle the correct answer. So just to do a couple of examples for you, if I take 5 divided by 16, I get 0.3125. And in my calculator, there's no repeating, it doesn't go on, it simply ends, it terminates. So this is a terminating decimal. On number 2, if I take 5 divided by 6, I get a big long decimal in my calculator, and that's 0.8333. And I'm not going to write all the 3's, I'm just going to put ... to show that it repeats. On the practice on 5 through 10, they just want you to convert each fraction to a terminating decimal. So these fractions are going to end. They're going to terminate. So if I take 3 divided by 10, what comes up in my calculator is 0.3. There's no repeating pattern. It simply ends. It's a terminating decimal. If I take 3 divided by 4, I get 0.75. So on all of these, your decimal should end. It should terminate. But on 11 through 16, you're going to convert each fraction to a repeating decimal. So for example, 1 divided by 3, you're going to get 0.333 and so on. And I'm just going to put ... and that means repeating. If I take 1 divided by 9, I get 0.111 ... because I don't want you to write out all those numbers. Make sure you're using a calculator. This is the only way to solve these questions. And you do not need to do the reflect. On slide number 3, you're simply going to be doing the same thing. This is a lot of practicing with our calculators, practicing taking fractions and turning them into decimals. On 1 through 8, you are going to have terminating decimals, decimals that end. And on 9 through 12, you're going to convert each fraction to a repeating decimal. So you're going to use ... So I will pick 2 examples. Let's look at number 4. 11 divided by 16 is 0.6875. That's a terminating decimal. It does not go on forever. And I'll take a look at number 10. 5 divided by 9, I get 1.6666 ... I would either write 3 or 4 numbers after the decimal point to show that it is a repeating decimal.